Finally, Kayla, today on Kayla Knows Nothing, we watched Battle of the Bastards, which is the penultimate episode of the series so far.
It was so good.
It was so good? What'd you like about it?
First of all, the battle scene. Were any horses harmed in the making of this sequence?
I mean, I have not heard any were. I assume that if there were,
I was very upset by all the horses flying about.
There were horses.
More so than the people. So as long as
that
no
is a
horses,
weird phenomena. Like in when people are watching movies, like people
I
will get
cry
more
harder
upset
in
over the
animal
animals
movies
than
when people die.
I mean, that's not abnormal at all. A lot of people do that.
My dog Skip.
I didn't see it, but it was sad. Do you see a dog's
Marley
purpose?
and Me. Oh, Marley and Me is the hardest I've ever cried in a movie.
I have several friends who will not watch the movie again because they just can't handle it.
Anyway, so horses were fine.
I'm sure they were. I don't know personally. I'm sure there's a no horses were harmed in making this episode tag on the end of the credits.
Well, they played dead pretty well. No, this was incredible.
Milo and Otis.
Milo
you ever see that one?
Otis?
I love Milo and Otis.
Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound, good one. The dogs talk like people.
No, this was like a movie. It was insane how well this battle scene was constructed and directed and shot and all the above.
Yeah, it was
very impressive.
Very impressive. I mean, I'm glad you watched on a bigger TV too.
I did, yes.
I mean, because this show it kind of just doesn't deserve. You can watch it any way you want. I feel like it works best on a bit of a bigger screen.
Yeah.
It does have that kind of scope to it, you know? All right, Kayla, let's break it down a bit. Battle of the Bastards, big, huge episode. We have a little screen here. Okay. Let's start at Meereen, where we begin.
Yep.
With Daenerys. And she's back. The slavers' fleets are trying to destroy the city. She's talking to Tyrion. What is their conversation like?
Thank goodness Tyrion's keeping her in check. Oh, there he is. I thought it was all over for my man.
Did you really? Were you like,
I knew, thanks to you, that he's still alive in season 7. So I knew he wouldn't die. I just didn't know what was going to happen.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, yes. So yeah, basically she wants to take out everybody, right? All the slave owners.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like, prob's not.
Think
maybe a bad
twice.
idea. So
he reminds her that her dad, his whole plan was to blow up the entirety of King's Landing and put a wildfire on everything. Just like, don't be like your pops.
Don't do that. So she hops on her dragon. They take down a ship with fire, and then what's the right-hand man dude's name?
Tyrion?
No.
Grey Worm.
Grey Worm kills 2 of the
leaders, the slave leaders.
And then he says, go back and tell your people that you've been spared by Daenerys, and there we are.
I have 2 questions for you.
Yep.
One, okay, does it disturb you at all that Daenerys' first instinct was to go right to genocide?
Yeah.
And she had to be talked out of it.
She's never been like, she's always, I feel like, had compassion a little bit, so.
I mean, she's always had compassion. She's also, she's done some intense stuff. I mean, she burned that hut down with all the Dothraki leaders in it.
Right.
When she first got to Meereen, she crucified the slavers. When she got the Unsullied army, she had them kill pretty much everyone in town.
So she can be a little extreme.
she can be a little extreme. It's not like this is coming out of nowhere.
But I think Tyrion did the right thing in being like, hold up.
Yeah, holding her back a bit. So hopefully they will be a good team.
Slow your roll.
Where if she does try to go nuts and, I don't know, nuke a city in Westeros, he'll try to hold her back in season 7. That's where we're going now.
Okay.
Oh, here's a question from Julie Davies. Kayla, did you jump out of your seat when the Knights of the Vale came over the hill?
Julie, I got chills when I saw Sansa there with Littlefinger,
right.
And then the army coming over. I literally got goosebumps.
It was a good bit.
Victory!
Victory. Finally, some
victory.
victory.
I knew help was on the way.
By the way, Karen says, I was thinking and feeling that Dany will never sit the throne because of her tendencies to act that way, which is a concern, because Dany's going over to Westeros now. Little minor spoiler, but you probably guess that's happening.
Right.
And the other question is she going to be this kind of intense, hard-ass lady when she gets there, or will she be held back? And we're going to see. I hope she masters her worst instincts and becomes the queen we all want and need right now.
Me too.
Anyway, after that, Dany makes a new friend in Yara Greyjoy and Theon Greyjoy. What happened in that scene, and is it a positive development?
Tyrion wasn't as nice, but still. cordial.
Approved, more or less.
Right. So they've decided to join forces versus waiting for their uncle to come.
Right.
Because
He's still out there, technically.
It's kind of like it was like a girl power thing, I think.
It was. There were some fans who think they were flirting a little bit.
It seemed they were.
Right? They kind of give each other eye.
But yeah, they're still going to have, 100 ships
Yeah,
with
and
them.
also the ships she took from the slaver people.
And Tyrion made a point that they all come from similar backgrounds. All their dads were evil people, so let's change the course.
Let's change the world. Very optimistic.
It was.
They also shook hands like this.
What was that?
I don't know. I still don't know.
I noticed that.
Right?
You don't know?
I have no
You're
clue.
supposed to have all the answers.
That's a mystery. It's just why aren't you just shaking your hands? But that's how they do it in Essos. I'm not going to judge them.
I feel like I've seen that before in a movie, like the elbow shake.
The elbow shake. If anybody out there has an opinion, where did this come from? Just watch. Dany and Yara shake hands like this to sign their pact.
Is that like a feminine handshake?
Is it?
I don't know.
Anyway, it happened, and it's pretty positive because they're both characters we like, and they're going to hopefully take Westeros together. They're positive. Okay, now on to the meat of the episode, the Battle of the Bastards.
Yep.
So a few questions for you in here, Kayla. Mm-hmm. So before the battle, we have, first of all, how did that parlay go between Ramsay and Jon and Sansa and Davos? They were all there, meeting before the battle.
Right. Basically, they just found out that, yes,
Rickon is dead.
Rickon is alive.
Oh, yeah, he's alive. Or at least he has him.
Yes, he has him because they had the Hound's head, or the
direwolf's
direwolf's head. And he was like, Jon wanted just a battle for them, between them two, to spare everyone else.
Right.
And Ramsay was not having
Ramsay
that.
didn't go to it, which he wouldn't because he was
He's a
right.
coward.
Well, also, I mean, who does that? I mean, that's not how battles are fought.
True. We needed the epic proportion of the battle.
Well, he made the point that, I don't know if I'd beat you, but I know I have more guys than you, so why should I fight you one-on-one?
True.
But it was worth a try.
And then Ramsay said he would have his hounds finish everyone off.
Right.
And then Sansa was like, "You're gonna die tomorrow. Sleep tight."
I like that. That's a good line. Yeah, it's a good bit. She just rides away.
She's really growing on me. She used to annoy me, and now
I like
she's
Sansa
one of my
a lot.
favorites. Yeah. Over the last couple seasons.
Because a lot of fans out there, I know if you're watching, don't like Sansa much. Even now, they think that she's kind of entitled and that she hasn't earned the credit people are giving her. So, for example, in this episode, she's at that little war council thing, right? Mm-hmm. And they make their plans, and then they leave, and Sansa says, "You should ask me for more advice because I know this guy better than you."
He's a sociopath, yeah.
Does she have a point?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that proved to be true when she showed up and saved them. That was like all because of her, that they weren't all killed.
I think you're right because, she shows up, they were going to die, and I'll point this out. So, she says that you should have asked me for advice, and Jon's, I see Jon's point too, because he's like, well, fine, what advice do you have? And she's like, don't do what he wants you to do. And like, oh, it's really super helpful. Wait, it's not, I understand why you would say that, mm-hmm. But then he does do exactly what Ramsay wants him to do, right?
Yeah.
And they say
he wasn't supposed to strike first, or charge first. Or
the whole idea
whatever.
was we have fewer men, they have to charge first, that's the way we're going to live through this.
But Ramsay played them by killing Rickon right in front of them.
Would you have charged in that situation?
Yes. I think Jon did the right thing.
Me too, actually.
He was going with heart versus head.
That's what I liked about this episode, that I know watching it that Jon charging is a stupid thing to do. I knew it, but I still sympathize because it's like, yeah, you would charge then.
Yeah.
Of course you would charge.
At that point, you just kind of lose it. Didn't we all see Braveheart?
It's been a long time.
Or The Patriot?
Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Same director, same actor, war.
Mel.
But yeah, I got why he did it. I still thought it was dumb, but I understood why he did it. And maybe if he had talked to Sansa more, he would have, like she was saying to him, he will do something like this. He will play you, and then he did.
Yep.
Was Sansa heartless in saying that there was no way they were going to save Rickon?
I think she just knows Ramses too well.
I think you're right.
She's just trying to prepare for the worst.
She lived with this guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to let the Stark kid live.
The only heir to
true
heir to the throne.
Ramsay would kill somebody just for kicks.
Yeah.
He's not going to leave a rival alive, so I agree with that too. The last bit with Sansa here is she never told Jon about that the Knights of the Vale might be coming. Why not, and should she have?
It's a good point. I don't know, because what would be the point of him not knowing?
Well, I think there are a few things at play there. This is my take on it, kind of. I think, A, she didn't know if they were going to come.
Oh,
so
okay. Why build them up?
She
if
wrote,
they didn't
she
really
wrote the
have
letter.
backup. Yeah.
And if she told him, it might have thrown off the battle plans. Maybe they would have had to run and be chased, in which case they would have increased chances of dying. She wasn't sure if they were going to come in the first place.
Okay.
But you could have told them earlier. She didn't. I think it's because Sansa, after all this time, after getting burned by Joffrey and Cersei and Littlefinger and
She
Ramsay.
wants to feel like that she has a little bit of power left.
Yeah, she wants, even now, she likes Jon a lot, but she's not entirely sure she can trust him completely. I'm not sure she's entirely sure that she can trust anybody, in my opinion, at this point. So I think she kept it to herself, because in the back of her mind, she's always going, I want an army that's loyal to me.
True.
And that she kind of kept that ace up her sleeve. And it paid off in this case. But there are some fans who think that she's being, duplicitous, or that she's not being forthright. I think they don't give her enough credit. I think she's been through a lot. I think that it all works for where her character arc has gone. And I like her a lot.
From where she was when she was with Joffrey, where she was super, complacent, couldn't say anything, and had to, be a robot, to where she is now.
She's really grown up, Sansa.
She has.
Our girl.
Coming into her own.
Okay. For no reason. All right, if any of you have opinions on Sansa, because I know Sansa is one of the more controversial characters out there now, I'd love to hear them. Kenneth Cautious Cole says, I think you are right. That might be about us. I hope it is. Oh, Lauren Groth, I'm so relieved Tormund didn't die during this.
Same. Tormund, Davos.
Really, we didn't lose that many people. I mean, we lost Rickon.
Right. Rickon and then the
and
giant
one,
dude.
the giant, and of course Ramsay, if you want to count that as a loss.
So I was relieved that most of them were still killed.
Yeah, more or less we came out okay. Another little character moment we got was before the battle, Davos wandering around and finding, what does he find when he kind of wanders away from the battlefield at night?
He finds a little figurine that he gave to
Shireen, Stannis' daughter.
So
back before he left the camp.
Did he not know that she was burned alive?
No, he has no idea.
He just knew she was dead.
Yeah, remember, he left before the burning happened.
Because I guess Melisandre just came back and was quiet. She never said
Yeah,
anything.
Melisandre wasn't like, oh, by the way, guess what I did while you were away?
Okay.
She wasn't eager to volunteer that information.
So then did he make the connection at that point?
What do you think?
Yes.
He was definitely glowering at her at the end.
He was holding it and looking and then staring at her.
And he found it near a pile of burned wood. I think he's put two and two together.
I'm going to go with what you're saying.
Fair enough.
Dan knows best.
I mean, I don't know why I'd be informed by future events. Speaking of Melisandre, though, do you want a reckoning for her? Because she had a conversation with Jon tonight. She was more or less reasonable and nice. How did their conversation go?
He said not to bring her back if he dies. Mm-hmm. She said, well, I'll probably have to try regardless.
Because I serve my creepy god, not you, Jon Snow.
She's kind of, I don't know, seems like she's become smaller, as a person.
I agree with you. She definitely
She used to be this big,
shrunk.
confident, crazy lady, and now she's, lost everything close to her.
How do you feel about that change? Do you like her more or better or the same now that she's kind of shrunk a bit?
Well, I hope she stops killing people.
Don't we all?
Is she still around for season 7?
I can't reveal that. But
Oh.
how do you feel about the transformation? Because you're right, she's definitely been humbled. Because her whole idea was this Stannis guy is going to be the savior, and then it just totally blew up in her face. So she's really reevaluating where her life choices, I think, this season.
I think I like this Melisandre better.
I mean, I agree with you. I think
Okay.
it's more relatable than the
I
creepy,
hope she learned her
confident
lesson
witch
after
lady.
killing a 10-year-old, however old she was.
I do too. Do you still want her to have a reckoning for that? Because she did do it.
Yes.
You don't have to question that.
But
You
then
can
she also
like it.
brought Jon Snow back from the dead,
She
so
did.
she's a tricky one, that
It is.
Melisandre.
By the way, during the what spinoff should we do idea, my suggestion was a show that covered the major events in Melisandre's 400-plus year life. Just like a different season for different periods in her life. Oh. How exciting. I called it Rolor with the Punches. Rolor was the name of the god in the book. Never mind.
You're so witty.
It was really clever. Everybody laughed. In a room full of Game of Thrones nerds, it killed. Karen hopes she redeems stuff in some way. I do too.
I would love that. Yeah, that'd be good.
I like her. I've always liked Melisandre. I mean, it was when she was creepy, she was different, but I think she's an interesting character, and I want to see more of her. Julie Davies, how do you all think a meeting between Sansa and Tyrion is going to go? Oh, I'm so excited. Well, that's a good question. If Sansa and Tyrion met up again, the old married couple, would you think it would go okay?
Yeah, they had a lot of respect for each other.
They did. That was one of the happier marriages, even though it was kind of miserable in the show that we've seen. I guess Catelyn and Ned were pretty happy together until they both died. Anyway, on to the battle itself. So, any particular parts of this stand out to you?
All of it?
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. There was some impressive stuff for a TV show, for a movie. Really.
Do you know what's also really cool is the sound effects. Everything is so real and like lifelike. Like the arrows to
the shank to him yelling loose.
Swords to the blood squirting.
The horse neighs and like the guts being pulled out.
Right. Sound effects are very good. Well done.
I liked that it was. I mean, sometimes in movies I'll see like a battle scene and it'll be kind of like I don't know where to look, or I'm kind of confused as to what's happening. I thought that I knew what was happening here.
Yeah.
Like I knew that they were being surrounded. I knew that the shields were advancing. I knew that Jon was being trampled under feet of his own
I didn't really
men.
know what was going on while he was trampled.
Okay.
That was like a big stack of bodies.
It was a big stack of bodies. Because they were shooting arrows into it. And there's that one bit where Davos was like, don't shoot arrows, we'll just kill our own men. And the Ramsay was like, loose them all.
Yeah.
Because Ramsay, not terribly stable. That for me was the worst part, was Jon getting trampled. What didn't work for that about you? What didn't work about that for you?
So like, it was when the army was coming in, right? And doing like this
right, when they were kind of closing in with the terrifying little shield march, which I thought was really spooky.
Because then people were coming over the hill of bodies at the same time.
Yes.
Were they protecting him? Is that why he was trampled, or was that an accident?
Oh no, I think it was an accident. I think they were trying to flee, and
getting cornered
once
from every direction.
Once you're in that state of panic, you're not going to look down and say like, oh, I don't want to step on that guy's face. You just want to get out of there.
But he got out, luckily.
He got out, and he kind of like took a breath of air.
Yeah, all of the camera angles were so cool throughout that whole thing.
They really were. Like this one, I remember when I saw this was really impressive. It's like, how do they do that?
I am shocked he didn't die in that moment.
See, that's good, because you knew he was going to live, and you were shocked anyway.
Yep. I knew the outcome, and still surprised.
Which is, I think, what
I had to keep telling myself
should do.
that throughout the battle. He lives, he lives, he lives.
And he did. Thank God he did. Wait, they're ignoring somebody. How did these people know who was on their side? Asked Julie Davies. I will say, Julie Davies, I was watching it again for this Kayla Knows Nothing. I mean, the Boltons were wearing the flayed man sigil things. The little kind of creepy flayed man guy. It was on their helmets, it was on their shields.
Oh.
They all wear sigils in this show.
I thought that was confusing too. How do you know who's on your team?
I mean, it does. It is very confusing and kind of dust flying everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. But they do all wear the sigils. I mean, I can't see it on Jon's thing right now, but everybody knows Jon Snow. Anyway, what else? Anyway, apparently Kenny thinks we're ignoring him.
We're not ignoring you.
What is your question, Kenny? We will pay attention. It might have gotten buried down the comments. I'm sorry.
But no, so then once Littlefinger's army comes in and they know they're good,
the music swells.
Out goes Ramsay like a
he runs.
Scared little
I mean, he's going to die. So he goes back in Winterfell. He bars the doors. And what then?
What's his name? 1-1?
1-1 Wegdar 1. Don't look at me, Ken. That's the kind of name giants give their babies.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, or 2D2. So then he bangs down the door. Oh, it was really sad when he died. I was actually really sad.
Right, I'm glad you were. I'm not
Jon Snow
glad
was
you were sad, but
reaching out to I'm
right?
here, and then
like,
shot him in
you,
the eye, and he goes down.
It was too bad. I mean, and that's good because you don't really like the Fantasy More stuff, but it's
Right.
good that you can feel something for one week, Darla.
Yep, I did.
So thanks for that cosplay guy. It was amazing. If you're watching cosplay guy from God of Thrones, it was pretty remarkable. Okay, by the way, Kenneth is asking, who do you want Brienne with, Tormund or Jaime?
Ooh.
Personally,
Ooh. Tormund?
you're okay. You're a fan of
Personally,
them?
were you going to say Jaime?
Probably Jaime. Yeah.
But that means she would be with Cersei.
No, if Jaime left Cersei for Brienne,
Oh, like not work for, but like be with?
be with.
I think she likes Jaime.
Me too. I mean, really, I think Brienne should choose herself. Is my real answer to that, kind of.
Did she ever have a thing with Tormund?
Tormund has been hitting on her pretty hard this season. We didn't really talk about it much, but there's a bunch of shots where he's like leering at her. She doesn't really like it that much. She just kind of looks uncomfortable.
Okay.
We've been going through these so quickly.
Didn't
I
catch
can't slow down to focus on the little comic moments they're throwing in. But
Okay.
it definitely happened. And it was a whole internet thing. I think it should be either Jaime or just, Brienne, you do you, girl. Have fun.
But yeah, I do think she likes Jaime a lot.
Me too. Anyway, moving on. They go to Winterfell. One backs to the door. One dies, and then Jon beats the ever-loving crap out of Ramsay.
They take over. They release their banners.
Yeah.
It is theirs.
It's theirs. They put Rickon in the crypts. Just too bad.
Yeah, that was sad.
And then the final scene is
Sansa gets her revenge.
Sansa gets her revenge.
So she goes and sees Ramsay, who's down in his hound cellar or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he say? He was basically like, you're not going to kill me. Like, I am part of you or something.
Yeah, which I didn't love that line. I thought it was kind of cheesy, but I think what he's saying, well, what do you think he's saying?
I think he was trying to just psych her out and
Sure.
try to see if there was any compassion left for him in her.
Yeah, compassion left, because there was so much there to begin with.
Right.
I think he's saying that, well, here's a point. Like, this is a violent act by Sansa. I mean, she's feeding a man to hungry dogs. I think what he's saying is, there's a part of me in you now because, it's the way that abuse victims kind of themselves can become a little darker or jaded or harder or even abusive themselves.
Right.
And I mean, Sansa is doing something very violent, kind of like something Ramsay might do.
Did you ever see Enough, Dan? With
With
J-Lo?
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
No, I have not. Is it relevant to this?
Well, I don't want to give away the movie, but
I did hear that the plot is that she's had enough. So.
nothing gets past you.
Right.
But yeah, it's her daughter's, the father of her daughter, and she plots out to kill him because self-defense isn't murder. And then once she gets to a point where she can finally kill him, she can't do it.
Oh.
So it's like, that kind of reminds me of that. Like, I think he was hoping that she would feel that way in some way.
Interesting. Good. That's cool.
But you should see the movie. It's really good.
I've heard it's fun enough. I think it's more about how there is a small part of Ramsay in Sansa now, because now she's capable of this kind of violence. Is my take on it, but I love your take too. Any case,
so he's like, the hounds won't eat me, they're my dogs. She's like, well, you said yourself they haven't eaten in 7 days, and then they maul his face.
they were
It's
loyal. Now they're
disgusting.
starving. It's gross, but she
Bye-bye.
she still watches, and then she walks away, and that's the Battle of the Bastards.
Woo!
So where do they go from here, Kayla?
Well, Dan, I did see the preview for next episode, and I
Oh.
feel like I'm a little nervous
Why is that?
because I feel like now Littlefinger wants Sansa to be like indebted to him or something.
Well, that's the question. So Sansa didn't want to use Littlefinger to win this in the first
Because
place.
she wanted to be her own woman.
Well, that, and also because Littlefinger doesn't do anything for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, so she brought him in, and I think she needed to because that was very crucial to winning. Mm-hmm. Is
Took one for the
that
team.
going to be an issue? Because now they won, but they have Littlefinger they're kind of indebted to him for winning the battle a bit.
So yeah, this will be interesting because it's kind of like Sansa, Jon Snow, Littlefinger that are all wanting power. So
Yeah.
who gets it?
Well, do you think Jon wants power?
Oh, all right. I guess he doesn't.
I mean, he has power. That's the thing.
He doesn't necessarily want it.
The story of Jon's life is people giving him power when he doesn't really ask for it. I mean, like, he didn't ask to be Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. They just kind of voted him in.
He should be in power. I think he's good at it.
I think he's good at it, too. So we'll see how that plays out.
I think they should
pretty
all work
soon.
together as a team.
That'd be nice. I
Just
mean,
like
Littlefinger
Tyrion,
is
Daenerys,
difficult to work
and
with.
Theon, and Yara.
Sandra Murray on the Brienne and Tormund debate. Tormund admires Brienne's strength and her ability to fight, and she's never had that from other suitors. He might be able to win her over in time. Possibly. But Sandra, I think Jaime and Brienne have a deep emotional connection. Personally, I do. That is more important than that. But who knows? I really don't know what's going on because we haven't got to that point yet. Okay, any other closing thoughts on Battle of the Bastards?
I have one more left before I'm caught up with you,
You have
Dan.
one more left, and then it's on to the new season.
And then Dan knows nothing.
Well, we both
In
know
season,
nothing.
season.
And we'll change it to we know nothing together. Neither of us know anything. No one knows anything.